All right. So, yesterday we left off writing a little C program that actually just puts um, plain old HTML into a file called index.html just to be able to test the concept. Now, I want to take it a little further by actually being able to customize the content of the website. So in this case, I want to be able to have like um some sort of like parameter, for example, because we know how to do that, that specifies the custom title, the heading, and as much content as needed. So basically in paragraphs. And maybe also a custom file path as to where to dump the generated page, or again, just output it as text. So I think the first step is that we need to probably find like a good mechanism to receive input, and I think creating them as like um, text files might be a good way to start. Like, kind of read in a text file and then have like a custom format, for example, like where we could say, you know, something like title, right? How about this? Make it title space uh, my web page, and then have something like heading my heading here, and then after that we'll have like a empty line, and then we'll have a bunch of content, another paragraph, and so on. Perhaps something like this could be like the file that we can kind of input, and then output can be some sort of web page. I think this is like the goal we should try to strive for. And I'll save this text file as an example. So I'm gonna just save this as a sample template text. Okay, so let's not worry about this for now. Let's actually just put some variables to describe that. So if I said character, let me say title, page title, let's say page title is going to be, again, my website. And then we'll say character page heading is going to be called, I think we did hello world here. And then we'll also have maybe an array of strings, right, with the content. So page contents, and maybe we'll have each element in this array of strings, like every single string in this array, be like a maximum of maybe maybe 2 kilobytes, maybe so to about 2,000 characters per string, and that represents a paragraph, maybe, right? So we can say uh, maybe like 2048. Is that one? Yeah, something like this. 2048 bytes is probably two kilobytes, right? So we'll have yeah, or is that how you're? Yeah, is that how we represent? We'll find out. Anyway, so I could probably say something like, now this becomes percent %s, and this becomes print f, and then I can substitute that with page title, and then I could say printf here, And I can say this is the page heading, %s again. And then here would probably be a loop to continuously kind of dump paragraphs. So maybe right here. So for, I guess, how many, I guess that won't work because we don't know how many elements total. Hmm, that's true. We don't know dynamic memory stuff yet, right? So it has to be a 2D array. So how big should our array be? Let's just have 2 paragraphs for now. Yeah, let's have 2 paragraphs for now. And then we can say something like paragraph 1 or welcome to my new personal webpage. And then we can say paragraph 2. Here is another paragraph. Okay, so these two will go in as elements to our page contents. And we'll figure out how to make this more dynamic later. So that's how we set up our page contents. What does it say? Expression must be a modifiable, L value. I think we could just do, what does that mean? Is that how you define a 2D array? So two strings, but each with what? So is it like this? So is it more like this? I guess. Okay, so this is for the inside stuff. This is for the outside. So 2 elements. So 2 strings. And then each element is a character. Well, I guess a pointer to a character, which means that it's a string. So, wow, I learned something new again. So this is how we do 2D arrays, where we want to hard code strings into each element. Okay, so that's cool. I learned something new today. And maybe we could say int max paragraphs, max number of paragraphs is 2. Paragraphs is 2. And then we can just say max number of paragraphs here. So now it'll be easier to kind of iterate through, right, our page contents, because we know we only have 2 here as an example. So we'll say int I is 0. I is less than max number of paragraphs. I plus plus. And then we'll actually move this here, right? So maybe, yeah, move that into the loop. So, wait, what is not working? There we go. All right. So then indent that there. And this actually now becomes printf. And instead of printing this paragraph hard-coded here, we're going to do %s again. And then this is going to be the array, right? Array element, page contents at I. So I at 0 is going to be this thing here. I at 1 is going to be this. Here is another paragraph here. So this is like a hard-coded way to do it for now. And let's see if we can get the same equivalent page here. So I'm going to actually delete this index.html. I'm going to recompile the program and then see if we can get the same type of HTML, at least, to that level. So let's compile our program again, and then let's run it. I think this one. Okay, so we ran it, and then it looks like we got the same HTML except we don't have new lines because our printf didn't do new lines. But just to see if we can actually see the same thing, there we go. We actually got a generated web page right here. Um, so we've created one with 2 paragraphs and a title. So now I can say something like this. First I can change the title to just be like maybe my personal website, or my, let's say this is my portfolio. Okay, and then I can change the heading to be maybe Roger's uh, coding portfolio, for example. And then I can have this here be hello, you've stumbled across my personal coding portfolio. I have interesting code snippets and tools to share. And then here on the second paragraph is feel free to download what you find here and look at the source code to make it even better. To make these tools even better. Let's add some positivity to our life, Okay, so I've modified the page title, the page heading, and the paragraphs to something else. But yet, I didn't touch any of these things here. So let's see how that works in our program. Let's see what we can generate now. So we compile again, regenerate, and if I refresh this page, I actually have a different page. So we can actually create lots of pages now. Yes, they're kind of simple, but we're slowly building up this framework, and we're doing it in C because why not? We're learning together, and we're trying to just do something useful. So yeah, here's my little portfolio. Okay. What's next? Well, you know how I said that like it's fine that we have this here, right? These contents as variables, but notice that we always have to recompile every single time we want to update our little web page. And I should stop saying little. It's our webpage. This is, I should respect the project. It's my project. I should respect it. Yeah. So I think we should kind of make this more configurable. And I think a good place to start here is to provide some parameters, like arguments, to customize our page title and our page heading. Now, I kind of want to run our program like this. So let's say, for example, we compiled our program, and I'll just use this as Scratchpad. So let's say we compiled our program like gcc main.c-o Webby. Okay. We compiled it like this, and then now we want to run Webby. So we'll do /Webby. And I want to say something like this, -t to be title. Okay. I want to say my portfolio. And now I want to do -h to be Roger's coding portfolio. And then -f, so the contents of all the paragraphs for now. So maybe -c for contents, to be maybe contents.txt. And that's just going to be a bunch of paragraphs. And then this will actually create it'll what comes out of it is going to be a bunch of text, but then we'll redirect that out to index.html. Even better, we can actually specify the output, right, to be index.html, and it will automatically write to index.html. So we should be more specific, path to index.html. So that's like how I think we should code our program, to have some command line arguments. Webby -t meaning to pass in a page title so that we can get this nice title up here in our tab. -h to specify the page heading, and then -c, the contents, basically a plain text file that contains all our contents, and then -o to specify the output file that we want to throw our contents into. So I think this is a good start. So remember that we actually just read about how to parse command line arguments, right? We're in our little book here. So I'm saying little all the time today. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm feeling inadequate doing this project. I feel intimidated, So here, the general approach is to include UniSTD, which is the Unix standard library, not like the C standard library, but stuff specific to Unix. And then we call getopt with argc, argv, and then the command line switches that we'll have. So in this case, since we're needing a value after every single option here, it's going to be something like T:, H:, C:, and O:. Because remember, colon means that we need an argument for that option, right? If we don't have an argument, meaning that we don't have a value after that option, then we don't need the colon. So then we'll have a while loop that gets all this, and then we'll have a switch statement that'll check the option and then assign the argument to whatever variable we want. And just a reminder, the opt arg here is a string. So it's a character, it's a pointer to a character. And then we had to finish off by readjusting offsets, and then the rest of our program. So let's give it a shot. Okay, so let's just give it a shot. So now I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. Okay, so what do we have to do first? We have to include unistd.h. So let's do that. Okay, so we'll include unistd.h, and then we want to start processing our options. So I'm going to just start maybe here, just up here, just so that we can, have a good spot. It's going to have a while loop, so it's going to be a while loop, while, and this is this funny thing here, ch. So we're going to have to do character ch here, getopt, argc, argv, so the number of arguments that we're passing in, and then the argument vector, so the list of strings, and then our options. So we want a -t followed by an argument, a -h followed by an argument, a -c followed by an argument, and then finally a -o followed by an argument. So something like this. THCO. All right, and now we need to keep consuming the options until we hit an end of file marker. And now we have this guy here, the switch, where we're going to match against the specific options we've just read in. So it'll be something like case T, and I'll just say maybe print for now, print F, the opt arg, and then we'll say T here. So we'll just regurgitate whatever we passed in. case h, same thing, printf, h will be this, and then opt arg again, because that it gets assigned like every single time we consume an argument, it goes into opt arg. And then c, let's see, c will be the same thing, opt arg. I should probably add new lines for all of these too while I'm at it. Okay, and then add a break. Case, was it? Oh, print f, o, opt arg, break. And then by default, we don't do anything. We just ignore it. Okay, so that's a good start. So basically, we can run our program like this right now, and then we get to see what gets print. We can like print out, what arguments we pass for every single corresponding option. And just to remove some distraction, let's actually comment out all of these. Oh, let me show you a cool Vim trick. Okay, so let's see if I can add a double / on every single line here. So if I go to, I guess, visual mode, and if I select everything here, and I do Control V, and I do that. Oh, Shift. Let's do that again. Hold on. I've only done this in Vim, not VS Code. So Shift V, select everything in visual mode. Control V, Shift I, type, haha, and then enter. Oops. Undo. Do it again. Okay. Control V, Shift I, that, done. All right. Yes, that's the way to do it. So the pattern, for anybody who wants to know, is Control, where is it? Shift V, Shift plus V to get to visual mode. Then do Control plus V. Then Shift plus I to go to insert mode. And then type your character. And then hit escape. So that's how you multi, I guess, insert things in Vim mode. Okay, anyway, whatever, tangent. So save this file, let's compile it as Webby out, and then let's run a command like this. And then let's see what we get printed out on the screen. So gcc main.c, gcc main.c -o Webby. Okay, so we should see a Webby program. Cool. Now, let's do this. /Webby. And then what did we say again? What was our... Okay, so let's move this here. Okay, so it'll be -t, my portfolio. Then it'll be -h, Rogers coding portfolio, -c, contents.txt, -o, see, index.html. So we do that, we'll see that we parsed out all our command line arguments. So that's a good start. So then already we can see that we can easily assign our page title and the page heading to whatever arguments these are, right? Into like a character pointer variable. And then we can actually open a file and start reading stuff into a buffer and dumping it into, I guess, like an array of characters. And then also we can just output everything in another file to whatever path this is specified. So yeah, I think let's do one thing at a time. Let's actually figure out how to get these two things into the web page, and we'll go from there. So um, first we need, again, to declare some variables to hold our page title and page heading. So again, we'll do character pointer page title, character pointer, we're not character pointer, it's a character array, right? Character array, we'll give it maybe yeah, character pointer. Let's do character pointer. Yeah, because we're just gonna assign opt arg to it. Page heading. We will only need. See, this is where it gets confusing, right? We will only need an array if we're reading stuff into it, but if we're just assigning whatever opt arg is, which is already a character pointer, we can just assign it to these to hold, like to point to that opt arg in memory. So, still learning, still practicing. So when we encounter T, we want to assign page title to opt arg. Okay, and we can just get rid of this. And then when we encounter H, we want to assign page heading to the opt arg. And let's see what happens. So let's actually silence this. Oops. For now. And then let's actually then redo this. I wonder if it's the same way, it's just backwards. Let's see. Let's try to get rid of these comments here. I wonder if it's the same way. Yep, same way. Just the other way around. Cool. So now we can get rid of these two. So, okay. Page title and page heading are still defined up here. It's just that now they should have whatever we specify. And looks okay. Let's see. Doctor's appointment. Okay. So let's try to compile with our new page title and page heading that can be dynamically updated through command line args. So let's save our file and then let's compile out to Webby and let's see if we can get the same thing. So my portfolio, Roger's coding portfolio. Okay, so let's output that to index.html. Remember, this is not working yet, so that's why we still have to redirect. So we did that. Okay, great, still works. Everything still works. Now, what happens if we change this to my interesting stories, and then we can say Roger's, I don't know, fan fiction. Okay, and let's do that. And we will refresh our page. And look, we've updated it and it's dynamics. Notice how we didn't actually recompile anything. We can now just change things, right? My stories, maybe fan fiction, and then we get a dynamically updating web page. So that's cool. That's really cool. We can start generating at least headings and titles, but what about content, right? So our next step is content. All right, so now looking at our spec again, -C is actually the path to the contents text file. Okay, contents text file. So what would we need here? We would need a file pointer, right? We need to operate on files. So if we were to go back to our book here, referencing it, notice how we had this file in f open for read. So we just need to do something similar and then close the file at the end, right? And how would we actually get stuff from the file? Well, we'll just fscan f. We'll just use this. So the trick now is to put that into, I guess, a buffer, like an array of characters, so that we can start doing stuff with those contents. So that's the tricky part. Um, but we'll figure it out. Right now, our goal is just to open that file and maybe just print out the contents of that file. So let's go back to our little practice here in terms of just commenting this stuff out, so that we get a clear, I guess, working space. So I'm gonna do that again. Okay, and now we're at this point where, okay, we have dash T, we have dash H handle, but let's do dash C. So what we can put up here is declare a new character pointer, or pointer to a character, called in page contents file name. Okay, now when we encounter dash C, so the C option, we want to assign opt_arg's location in memory to page contents file name here. So at this point, once we have the page contents file name, we can actually then, at the point where we're done parsing arguments, we can open the file found at page contents file name. And this could be like any sort of path, right, to a text file. So we'll follow this format here. It'll be, was it file, okay, contents file. So it's a pointer. We'll use fopen, and then it's going to be page contents file name, and we'll open it for reading. Okay, so that's the easy part. And then maybe somewhere down the line, we just do fclose. What do we call it? Contents file name. Contents file. Sorry, contents file. So we'll close that. Now we just simply, for now, print out the contents. Okay. So how do we do that? So again, this is a pointer to a file descriptor. What we can do is we can have a while loop that does fscan f on the input file. So this will be contents file. And how much do we want to read? I think we can just get away with reading it line by line and printing it. So line is what? The buffer? It looks like, yeah, line is the buffer. It's 80 characters. But I think we need way more than that, right? We need for every line. A line could be pretty long. So let's just, again, say arbitrarily, a line can be, and a line is a paragraph if we think about it, right? Um, let's let's say, again, maybe 500 characters. What does 500 characters look like? Let's see. Character generator. AI character generator. Text length generator. Generate text of certain length. Online tools. Okay, so this is how big? That's 1,000. Wow, that's plenty. So if I did 500, that's plenty. So we could say 1,000. A paragraph can be 1,000 characters. Okay, that's plenty. Okay, So every line is 1,000. And how many paragraphs do you think it makes sense to put? Let's see. Maybe a reasonable page is to have, I guess, 50 of this if it's a really long web page. 1,000 character paragraphs. So it's like it's like our array here, right? We had specified the max number of paragraphs. This will be probably 50, right? And then we'll just basically have a buffer that contains uh, um, 1,000 elements to load our stuff into. Let's try it. So yeah, so let's do this. Let's declare a buffer. So declare a line buffer of 1,000 characters, and then let's do character line buffer 1,000. Okay, and now we're just gonna read it. So while fscanf, let's see, contents file. So it takes in a pointer right here, contents file. And can we just do this? Let's do, yeah, let's do the percent. What is it? 1,000 or 999? Is that, yeah, to the new line. And then we'll read that into line buffer. And then we'll say 1. What does fscanf return again? Let's read it. So we do man fscanf. So it takes in the file pointer, the format, and then probably the buffer at the end. Yeah. Okay. So return value. On success, these functions return the number of input items successfully matched and assigned. Okay, so again, it's like the usual thing. Okay. 0 in event of an early matching failure. So 0 if failure, non-zero if we actually got stuff. So in this case, we're only looking for a single line, so it should match one line. So all this should match one line. Okay, sure. So we can then just print f the line that we read, and then we'll close the contents file. So that's like our like sanity debug, right? Just to be able to read every single line, basically a maximum of 1,000 characters per line, and then just print it out. Okay, so let's just use let's just let's create a new text file and just call it contents.txt. Okay, and let's do this. Let's type something. Here is my webpage. I think it is pretty simple but powerful. I hope to have more interesting content in the future. For now, this page is under construction. Have a nice day. Okay. So let's see what we get. So we have contents.txt, and then we're gonna just compile and run Webby again with these parameters, and this time contents.txt will exist, and we're gonna read in page contents file name. We're gonna read the C option arguments, which is context.txt, into page contents file name, which means that it'll find it in the current working directory. We can specify the absolute path if necessary. And then after that, we're going to declare a line buffer of 1,000 characters. We're going to do fopen to open the file found at this location, page contents file name, in read mode. Then assign that to a file pointer. Then we can operate on this file pointer by doing fscanf, scanning for 999 characters followed by a new line into line buffer. Only doing so whenever we're able to match something from fscanf. if we get 0 or whatever, this loop ends, meaning that we've already reached the end of the file most likely. And then we'll close the file because of good practice, and our program ends all the way down here. So that's the gist. But will it work? I don't know. Okay, so let's do this. Webby, my stories. Let's do that. Okay, so same thing. I have, let me just fix this. I have title. I have headings, and now I have the path, and I'm just gonna do this home Roger. Wait, is that even my? I'll just do this. Home code average dev projects C project 1 contents.txt. Okay, so my home directory at code average dev projects C project 1 contents.txt, and we don't care about the output right now, and it will output that to index.html. Oh, it actually worked. Something happened. Okay, so let's take a look at our index.html. Actually, we could probably just refresh what we have here. And it's correct because it's printing out. I didn't print out the HTML. It's just printing out whatever I printed out here. So let's backtrack and not redirect. And here we go. So that's the contents that's being printed. Now we don't have it formatted, right? We don't have it wrapped in nice paragraphs yet, but we're able to get everything. But I'm going to make it more readable by adding new lines so that we get a sense of what's going on. So again, we'll compile. Oops, what's going on? Oh, okay. Okay, so here's my web page. I think it's pretty simple but powerful. I hope to have more interesting content in the future. For now, this page is under construction. Have a nice day. So we're able to read every single line. Okay, so that's cool. Now, thinking about this, we can actually avoid having like the whole 50 paragraphs thing if we just dynamically built our paragraphs, right? So, we can just do something like this. Right, to build our HTML as we go along. And then everything here, for example, printing out this HTML, right, could actually be before we actually process contents. So let me just show you what I mean. If I were to just do this, and then I will just cut that, and then paste it up here, and then actually remove those comments, and then insert a new line up top just for niceness. So then this is our page title, and then page heading, and then followed by all our contents here, each paragraph. And then we also need these two things here. And then we'll paste it down here after we close the file. And we'll just get rid of these comments. And then I think we could have a proper web page. I don't think we need any of these things anymore because that was just for the page contents. And this we don't need. Okay. And now we can actually generate contents. So again, we're just going to be putting string HTML head, all this formatting stuff, right? Maybe I should just slash it right here. But then once we get into processing our input file, we're just going to declare a line buffer of 1,000 characters. We're going to open that file, and then we're going to iterate through all the contents and printing out, but formatting it as HTML paragraphs, like wrapping around it with line buffer. And then we'll close the file, and then we'll finish off our HTML template here. Cool. So let's try that again. Let's compile to Webby, and then we'll just do this. Redirect to index.html because we haven't written anything yet. And then refresh. Look, all our contents are here. And we don't, now let's say we want to update our website, right? We don't need to recompile the program anymore. We can just change contents.txt. Here, oops. Let's see. Okay, here's an updated website. So we save this text file. I'm not going to recompile the program. I'm just going to refresh the page, or I'm going to rerun the program and then refresh the page. No compiling. And here we go. So I can now start distributing this program, right, to everybody who wants to use it, and they can create their own web pages. It's enough, right? Like if you think about it, we don't even need the -o. We can just use redirect. But I want, for completeness, I want to implement this -o. So let's do that next. But yeah, there's a little value to this now, right? Because now we can type everything we want into this contents.txt file, and then we just need to regenerate our page again, and then it'll be in HTML. Cool. So finally, the last thing we need to do is have an output file, right? So here we can declare something called page output file name, and same pattern as before. When we hit the -o, we're just going to assign page output file name into opt.arg, and when we're done with all this stuff, right, we can actually open up an output file and print. Instead of printing to the standard out, we can just print to the file, and I think that is, what is it, fprintf here. We could just use fprintf with our output file, and then every single time we have a string, we'll just throw it in. So let's do it. Okay, so output file, create an output file. So it's the same API using fopen, but with W now. So we'll say file output file. It's going to be fopen page output file name. I'm going to open it for write, and we got this page output file name from opt.arg, which is basically the argument following the O option. So now we need to remember that at the very end, we need to close the file before we exit for good practice. Okay, close output file. Now what we need to do is we just need to modify these puts and print statements to just be fprintfs. Okay, so for example, it's just fprintf here with the file as the first argument, the file pointer, and then the string, and then this is the format, right? So it's okay. I think we're fine here because we don't want to put any other parameters. Okay, so that's how we print this HTML, this head, into the output file. But here's where we need to use a different form of the API, where we specify the output file name, the template string, and then the contents to fill that up, the formatted string. So it's a slight difference, but not by much. Okay. And I'm just typing manually on purpose as to just get the practice in. So this one. Okay. And then fopen, fscan, fprintf here. Output file. fclose. fprintf. Output file. fprintf. Output file. close. Cool. So now we don't have to redirect anymore. We can just use the -o to output to our file. So yeah, let's recompile once more. And now we don't need this anymore. And let's rename this to home.html just for, just for something different. Okay, that looked like it worked. If I did this, I have a home.html out here. So let's actually open that up. And we have the same thing because we didn't change the arguments, right? We ran it the same way, except now we don't redirect. We have our program reading everything from command line options and just doing stuff with it. That's pretty cool. We created a little C program to generate basic web pages. I don't know. I think that's cool. But what's even cooler is if we could alter this to make it look prettier. I personally don't like this look. I want something with color, with a different font, for example. So let's try to tackle that next. So before we do that, let's probably do a git commit on everything we've done so far, but I kind of want to clean up some stuff here. There's just too much stuff. So we'll do rm a.out, rm home.html, index, home.html, index.html. Maybe keep that, and let's get rid of Webby. So, okay, it's all clear. Okay, so we'll slowly work our way towards, I don't know if we're ever going to get to the sample template because I'm starting to like this, and I've never done this project. This is like, I'm doing this as I'm going along. So, because remember, this is just me doing stuff in front of the computer. So, I'm kind of liking this generator right now the way it is. So I just want to add a little polish of color and all that stuff to it. So I'm just gonna git commit whatever I have here. What is this? Oh, I never committed the other stuff. Okay. Okay. Webby. Okay. So in order to make our stuff look better, we can use CSS, right? And already I don't want to spoil it, but we can add CSS into our formatted file printing here. Like for example, we can just add a style tag. Right? And then maybe end it here. And then we'll have probably like, for example, let's say let's say we want to change the font from this to something more, I guess, modern looking, minimal looking, like maybe what's it called, sensor? Yeah, the stuff that looks like Arial and Helvetica and stuff like that, right? So we can just do fprintf file. In this case, we'll do something like body, and then within the style tag, right? Font family, sans serif. Okay, yeah, something like that. And then if we were to like recompile this thing, and then rerun it, to home.html, which we can just refresh here. Notice how the font changed. So like we can make things look better this way, where we can just like print out the style rules as text into the file, or I don't think this is a good way because we're gonna have to recompile every time we want to change the style, right? We can actually read in the new option, maybe somewhere here, maybe dash s path to style.css, right? Our CSS file. And then we can load up our CSS file into strings again and just put it in between style tag. So we can have something like this again. And then we can have like something here where we just loop through the style file and fprintf the contents between here. So I think that's a good idea, right? That'll allow us to be able to also not only change our contents dynamically, but also our CSS. So this way we can like kind of stitch it all together into a single web page. Or we can also provide a reference to the CSS file in there. But I'm not sure, like, it's kind of like, let's see what works better for us. Like, do we provide like a link href to the CSS file inside HTML? Or do we just inline it all into a single file? I'm debating to just inline it all right now. Yeah, I'm leaning towards that in my little head debate thing. So let's do it. Let's just do it. It's more practice. More practice on files, right? So now we're gonna add this S option. STHCO. So we're gonna have a new case statement here. Let's just I'm very juvenile. I'm I'm seeing a word that could be bad, but okay. So case S, and then let's have a new character pointer to a character called page styles file name, style sheet file name, page style sheet file name, and then because it's just gonna be the style sheet file, right? We'll assign it to opt arg with break, and then what we can do is we can do the same thing with the file pointer, and then let's actually declare a buffer. Let's see, a style buffer, style line buffer. Again, just in case, 1,000 characters, even though CSS is much like shorter in terms of lines, right? We'll also declare a file, style file, style file, page style sheet file name. We'll open it up for reading, and at the end we're just gonna close our style file. And in between here, what we want to do is we're going to do this type of thing that with the fscanf again, while fscanf style file, the file pointer. We want to read up to 999 characters up to that new line, and then style line buffer is where we're going to throw our contents to, and we want to keep reading it until we have nothing read in, and then we're just going to fprintf to the style file, no, fprintf to the output file, right? Because we want all the contents being read into here, and then we're going to do just the buffer directly, style line buffer, and that should be it. That should read our style sheet, and then when we're done, we just close with the closing tag of style. So we'll need a style CSS just real quick to create. Oops. And let's just do, I don't know, body again. Let's see, what's a good font? Let's just do font family. Uh, let's do Arial. And then we can specify maybe background color to be, I don't know, cadet blue. And then we can specify color, font color to be, actually, you know what? Let's do bisque, bisque for background color. And then let's just keep the font color black. And then let's also always add, let's add some margins to the page. So I guess margin, let's do 8 pixels, like so that we shift everything. Yeah, down. Actually, let's see if we can real time edit this so that we can see our page. It'll be fun. So our body, we want to target body. Again, that's what happens in a world where we change it to Arial. It's Arial. Okay, and then background color to bisque. Okay. Let's also do, what was it? Margin, 8 pixels. Is that even a difference? 16 pixels? I don't know, 150 pixels? Okay, so that there is a difference. Okay, so let's do 16 pixels. That looks good. Okay. And so we were to go back and edit our style sheet. Let's do 16 pixels. And paragraphs. Paragraphs. Actually, I don't like how far like the margins of heading 1 is right now. It looks like it's 21.444 pixels. I kind of want to reduce that, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to change all heading 1s to have margin, maybe bottom, to be, instead of 21 pixels, let's do 12 pixels. Is that what it is? 12? Okay. And so that's a little bit better, I think. How about if we just did 0? How come it always looks the same? Oh, it's because the paragraphs also have padding or margins too. Okay, but if I got rid of this, oh, there is a difference. Okay, so yeah, let's just get rid of margins for headings and paragraphs. Let's lessen that. Let's do margin bottom. Let's do margin top 8 pixels. Auto, wait, T for right. Bottom will be 8 pixels, and then finally auto for left, something like that. Okay, so that's like basic CSS stuff, right? So we can just quickly write those rules. So what do? We did heading 1 is going to be margin bottom 0. We don't need that pixels when it's 0. And then paragraphs will be margin 8 pixels to the top. Did I say 8 pixels to the top? Yeah, 8 pixels to the top. Auto to the right. 8 pixels to the bottom. Auto to the left. The order is TRBL, trouble. TRBL. That's how I remember it. Okay. And that'll be our style sheet. This is our basic style sheet. I'm not liking this color anymore because now that I see it live, let's just find a color from W3 schools, C schools. So W3 schools, yeah, color picker. Let's find I like a beigeish, like yellow, or maybe pale orange type of thing. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do let's do this RGB 255 235 204. So RGB 255 235 204. Okay, cool. All right, let's move on. All right, so I just refresh to get rid of all those changes. Okay, so now we have our style sheet parsing, and then we'll just kind of dump all the contents here. Then we'll take in an S argument, S option with an argument for that file name. We'll consume that. Yeah, we just dump it in between some style tags in our head tag, and it should work. At least I hope so. But we need to recompile, right? And now we need an extra option, which we'll need to give the path to our style sheet. And I'll just say home code average dev projects c project 1 style.css. Hopefully that works. So this home.html, let's refresh it. And that works. So we have a thing that generates some web pages. Of course, we need to clean up, and also, like, what if we don't provide some of these options, right? Like, how do we handle that? That's like error handling. But I don't know. I feel like that's good progress for today. I mean, we made something that could dynamically generate web pages. So here's Webby. So let's see what the HTML looks like. Is there a way to view source? There we go. So that's the entire thing here. Wow, we should really like format this better, but you know what? The internet actually does format it like this too. You really look at websites. Watch. Let's see. Maybe not actually. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, right. Well, no. I don't think. Let's see. CSS. Find next. Find next. Find next. There's no CSS file. Ah, right here. So this one is a CSS file. Wonder what that looks like. Oh, it's nice and clean. Okay. Never mind. So no. See, this is garbage too. See, it's all like messed up. So same. I'm doing the same thing. Okay. Yeah, it works because CSS works in terms of braces. So as long as I have braces to close things, it should be fine. And semicolons. So and then proper white spacing. So that's how CSS is parsed. It's actually a legit like kind of like a programming language if you think about it. So yeah. I think that's good. Um I'm wondering if it's kind of worth just separating this out into functions. Mm, yeah, I'll wait for tomorrow. Okay, so let's commit. Let's see. Okay. Webby again. Webby with CSS. So yeah, I don't know. One thing to do is just encourage to just maybe style things better on your own. Maybe provide different options or like change these option letters. Um, Maybe figure out a way to make this code cleaner. Yeah, there's lots of things to do, but I think next time we're going to think about how to separate these into different functions because look at this mess that we have. Yeah, it's not good. Then we'll go from there. See ya.